So we recently found out that our boys have got food allergies.
Which was a bit of a shock to us, to be honest.
And for whatever reason, it's becoming more and more common amongst our tamariki. And nō reira, e rika ana ki te rangahau he aha te aha. Hei tā māua, he huarahi pai tēnei, hei whakapakari i te whānau. And we want to give you some important information if you've got any concerns around food allergies or, in fact, allergies in general. Yeah. Food allergy affects up to 10% of infants in New Zealand, with milk, eggs and peanuts being the main foods involved. Mark Dixon is CEO at Allergy New Zealand and gets to see firsthand how people cope with allergies. Mark, you obviously know that our boys have got a couple of food allergies. Nō reira, ko te pātai tuatai, he aha te mate pāwera. So what is an allergy?
An allergy is something that is introduced to the body's immune system, and the immune system overreacts to what for everyone else is a normal allergen or substance.
What are some common allergens?
The common allergens are caused either by environment or by what we introduce to the body. Out in the environment, we've got our airborne allergens. So it's mostly grass pollens in New Zealand because we're a pastoral country. The other common airborne allergen is dust mites, which I think you guys have had a little bit of experience with. And then obviously we all are now much more familiar with food allergies. Most common for food allergies in New Zealand are eggs, dairy and peanuts, but there are others: soy, wheat, fish, shellfish.
So our story began when the boys presented with eczema. Didn't think too much about it, and it wasn't until we went back to our doctor a couple of times that she said, look, I think you need to go off to the specialist. That was the first sign for us that something wasn't quite right. Engari, he hanga momo tohu o ngā mate pāwera. So what are the symptoms?
The main symptoms are firstly the skin, hives, swelling in the face. It can progress to respiratory issues, so you might have noticed difficulty breathing or wheezing, and it can get to the point where the baby or the infant may become just floppy.
Looking at food allergies and the differences with a food intolerance, what are those differences?
The basic difference is that a food allergy affects the immune system, whereas a food intolerance affects the digestive system.
So if somebody suspects that their child has a food allergy, what do you suggest they should do?
I wouldn't hesitate in making an appointment with your local GP. He or she will be very interested in what they call the medical history. So that'll be unravelling your child's experience with food, and it is the most important piece in solving the puzzle as to what your infant might be suffering from.
Tēnei te mihi atu ki a koe, tēnā koe I tō kōrero, kia mātou. Thank you so much. It's been great sitting and chatting with you and getting a little bit more information. I think I've got a little bit more clear head now, so kia ora.
Thank you so much for shining the light on something that's such a major issue for a lot of families in New Zealand.
Kia ora. Mum Kimberly Madden-Snowd is someone who has spent the last 15 years dealing with food allergies. Her daughter Michaela is allergic to milk, eggs, tree nuts and kiwi fruit, so she's bound to have some great tips for us on coping with food allergies. Kimberly, ko te pātai tuatahi ki a koe, ko koe te māma. For you as a mum, how did that all play out with Michaela?
Michaela was an eczema baby, and from 3 months old she had eczema all over her body. And then when she was 6 months old, I gave her some baby muesli, which turns out has milk in it, and that was the first time she'd ever had dairy. Then she started to cry. Her face went puffy and red, and her eczema flared, and that her ears were a bit swollen, and she became very distressed. And so I rushed her to the doctor then. After a couple of months, we went to the allergy specialist, and subsequent skin prick and blood tests confirmed all of those allergies.
Michaela, for you then, from the time that you actually understood that you had allergies to dealing with it now, how's that process been for you?
Initially, when I was little, there wasn't really anything for me to worry about. But then when I got to high school, I had to start carrying around my own EpiPen, organising my own kai. So things got a lot trickier, and I became a lot more aware of it, and I think that was probably the main reason that I developed anxiety, because I have had serious food anxiety for a couple of years now.
I think it's a real challenge for us as parents to keep things in perspective, so we know that these are things that could really hurt our child, just everyday things, but then it's not helpful to be too afraid. We have a motto, be careful, not fearful. And it's trying to get the right balance.
Yeah. So how do you organise everything, whether it's in your kitchen on a day-to-day basis? Because you've also got to take into consideration school as well.
In our house, We have safe and unsafe shelves in the fridge and in the pantry where they've got green and red stickers, and that makes it really clear what's what. For school, I always make sure at the start of every year, before the kids get there, I've talked to the teacher. So I take them through the action plan so they understand the signs of anaphylaxis, talk about Michaela's specific allergies, and then use the EpiPen trainer pen to show them how to use it. That's really important that they've actually used it, that they know what it's like to give.
Kua tino whai hua ki te kōrero atu ki a kōrua. Thank you so much for sharing, because by you sharing your story, it educates all of us on how we can cope with allergies. Thank you very much.
Kia ora.